dogs, and Bear is one of our second year dogs. So we can kind of keep track.
Avery was a first year dog.
Avery was, but that was before we even had that.
Yeah.
Because we are new, that doesn't mean we're new to dog training. Between the three of us, there's about 40 years of dog training experience, and service dog training specifically. We've been volunteers for another organization, and 3 years ago, we were led to start Do Unto Others assistance dogs. There is a huge need for service dogs, and we think they're wonderful, but they're not the right answer for everyone. And today we want to talk a little bit about what they can do and what they can't, and the kinds of things you need to consider if you are considering adding a service dog to your family. They're great, they truly are, but they are not the answer for everyone with a disability. If you are like me with fragile skin, working with any dog is going to be a hazard. You're going to be wearing Band-Aids or the sleeves, long sleeves a lot. In Florida, that's not really an option. And even a well-trained dog, if they put their paws up on you, you can leave a bruise. I'm a peach at the moment, right? Things like, do you have a water bowl for your dog? Do you have food for the dog? Do you have poo bags in your pocket for the dog? It's a layer of what we call dogistics that complicates your life. If you are a person who gets up at this time and does this thing and then you do that thing, adding a service dog can throw you off your groove. Yes? Because they are great, they're good dogs, they're good, but they're dogs. And they have days where you may need them to do something like today. Okay, everybody's on. They may be going, not feeling it today. Can you roll with that? Do you have a plan to be able to leave them at home? Or do you have someone that could watch them if you really have to go and do that doctor's appointment that day and your dog is not having it? What happens to your dog if you are hospitalized for an extended period of time? Yes, a service dog can go with you in the ambulance. Yes, they can be with you in everything except a sterile environment. But somebody has to be able to take them out. And that's not the nursing staff's job. So you need to be able to call on someone to provide that for your dog if you are looking at an extended hospital stay. Things that people don't always think about. I want to get a dog. That's great, have a dog with me all the time. It is, but I don't do much activity during the day this time of year because the pavement's too hot. Now, as an able-bodied trainer, I'm not parking close, so my dogs are having to traverse the parking lots. Yes, there are boots that dogs can wear, but you have to train them to wear them. You have to be careful too that they're not overheating when they wear their boots because they sweat through their palms. Well, we had the boots on, but if you go into an air-conditioned place, they should come off. Well, that's a hassle. Yes, it is. Welcome to the world of having a service.
Like having a toddler.
Yes, in many ways. The paraphernalia is that of working with.
You carry a diaper bag again.
Oh yeah, kind of. When they have a vest like this, left-hand side, do they carry their own poo bags? I see you have a question if you're listening.
Yeah,
Okay, hang on, okay.
This is so I don't forget my questions.
Oh, okay.
I gotcha. Okay, that's the downside. Let's talk a little bit about what they can do for you, and I'm gonna step out because these are the experts there.
Okay. So a lot of things that we do, we can train for different things. We train for mobility and we train for autism and PTSD. And for mobility, obviously that's something I use all the time, being in a wheelchair. Disco can do things like pull my wheelchair. I operate under one power. Or pick up stuff I drop, which is constantly, and we will get to demo that some. He can provide pressure therapy and lay on my legs to help get my blood flow back to my heart, because I can't necessarily regulate my body temperature or my heart rate or anything like that. He can go get help. He can pay at the cash register, which is a real cool party trick. He can turn on and off lights. He can do elevator buttons and handicap buttons. I don't let him do the indoor elevator buttons, because then we visit every floor, and that's not always what people enjoy. But both of these two ladies also use mobility dogs, so I'm gonna let them talk a little bit. Ariel, tell me some things that Levi does for you.
Retrieval is his most helpful task. Balance assistance with his mobility harness is his second biggest one.
So it helps with transfers
Yeah,
and things like
absolutely.
that. How about you, Sophia?
We use mostly the same tasks. I would say a lot of retrievals, carrying items, and for her, because I cannot lift my arms up very high, especially pressing the door buttons and paying at cash registers is very helpful.
And she can carry stuff like a bag for you,
Yes.
which is so lovely. When you're rolling, I would love for him to do that. He keeps dropping it.
I
But
have-
she'll carry the bag and carry it out the door.
I have her bag to demonstrate later.
Yeah, so you'll get to see some of these demonstrations. They also help with simple things like, I can't always reach my leg and my feet because it doesn't bend well. And so he can take off my socks and my pants and pull my arms out of my jackets, and he can even do the zipper on my jackets when I'm wearing that. So that's also very helpful. He can also go get clothes and bring them to me, or the remote, which is also nice because I'm lazy, or the chip bag and take it to my husband. Very helpful. Some of the things they can do for PTSD. The biggest questions we get is, well, how do they help with autism and PTSD? So with autism and PTSD, one of the biggest commands that also helps with mobility is blanket. And that's that deep pressure, weighted blanket, heated blanket feeling. That works for everybody, because they lay on you and they provide that pressure, and it kind of calms you down. But it helps with pain, and it helps just calm you, and it reminds you that maybe you're starting to amp up. With PTSD, you're starting to just really, rev up, and you're gonna explode, and they'll stop that. They'll nudge you, they'll push on you, and that reminds you, okay, I need to calm down. I need to take a breath. I need to pet my dog. Or maybe I need to get out of where I am and I can't think to find the exit. They can take you out the door and find an exit for you where you can calm down. They can behavior interrupt. Somebody's picking at their skin or scratching, or they're starting to get nervous. They'll nudge you to say, okay, you need to take some deep breaths. For a child with autism, having that weighted blanket carried with you everywhere you go. You're in a store and your child is starting to melt down. They can get on the floor and the dog can get on top of them. It calms them down, and now your day is not over. You can take that few minutes, help them kind of pull it back together, get centered, and then you're back on, and your family still gets to enjoy the day. Some kids are runners, that interloping thing is a big deal. And so these guys, they learn a stop command, and that stop command is great because it's like LoJack for your kid. The child is hooked to the dog, and the child starts to take off, and the parent just says stop, and the dog drops to the ground. The child is not going anywhere, because 80 pounds of pressure laying flat is not getting moved. Exactly. So now he heard that, and if you notice, he paid attention. If I let him go, he'd go over and lay on him and help calm him down, because he knows how to do that. So you just got a small demo. Thanks, buddy. He helped us out. So that gives you an idea of kind of how quickly they react to, okay, I need to take care of this. Thank you, buddy. Very
by the
helpful.
way,
She's watching now.
we don't know what they're gonna be when they grow up and we get a puppy.
And he was paying attention?
Oh, she was like, what, where?
Yeah.
She is a Labrador Retriever. She missed the retriever gene. We have tried really, really hard, and she has a really weak retrieve. So mobility is not in her future.
Yeah.
Autism or PTSD, this dog pays attention
Yeah.
about how you feel. A crying child, a child that seems agitated, she's there too. not trained like Disco yet, but she's telling us,
This is what I wanna
I
do when I
think I
grow
can
up.
do this.
Ways that we can help train a dog to prepare for either you or your child or your loved one that needs help. And those are some of the benefits that they give. And that's with you all the time, which is very helpful. He also alerts to me. I tend to pass out. I take unplanned floor naps, which are not very helpful. He will let me know, give me about 90 seconds notice. I can get somewhere safe, and I don't end up busting my face on furniture, which I appreciate.
If you don't ignore him.
If I don't ignore him. Yeah, I did ignore him 3 weeks ago. That did not end well for me. So those are things that we have to kind of look at. We do have to pay attention to our dog when they tell us something is awry.
We give you a trained service dog. Training doesn't stop.
No, that's when it starts. That's the hard time.
The making the team is hard, and it takes effort on your part. This dog has been learning the same words from all the raisers that have had it for 2 years. You don't know their words. That you have to work on learning their language. Having a dog and that, well, they do this. Well, when's the last time you said, good dog for doing this thing that they do routinely? That paycheck is kind of like a slot machine. You know, you pull it and it doesn't, it might this time, it might this time. If it never pays off, you walk away. Dogs are the same way. You pay off, no, not this time. This time, yes, good job. And that
Sometimes
keeps
it's a
them,
jackpot.
keeps them going. And that's throughout their working team life.
So we start normally with dogs that are this age, 8 weeks, okay? We got this dog a month ago. At 8 weeks of age is when we started with him. He came home, he acclimated to where I live, which is a very small 300 square foot RV, and he began to just get used to it. Second or third day, I began to take him out. I took him to playgrounds where there were no children. He's been everywhere. He's been on the Sunrail, he's been to Publix, but they're short visits. I'm building this dog's confidence, so when I pass him on to the next raiser, he will be able to go everywhere with that raiser and be like, this is no big deal, okay? He has been learning some cues. I have listed them. There's probably 15 cues I've started to use with them. I would say his name and sit and let's go are probably the biggest ones, like he knows those, and the others he's learning. But again, he is, are you chewing on her phone? Oh, are you chewing on that leather thing? Okay.
He's not gonna hurt it.
This has been a great experience for him at Family Cafe, seeing all the people, all the activity, all the noise, all the music, all that has been great for him because it's become no big deal. He can literally sleep through it. And so this is where we, or at least attempt to start. Now we do also do owner train, so we don't always start at this age, but very often it's here. And then we move our way up. So he's 3 months old.
We have a 9-week-old.
This is Bear, stand. Yes, good boy. This is Bear, and he is not, 8 months old. And we're working, we have some impulse control to work on, but we have walked him through these halls. He has seen other dogs. He has done very well. But again, that's why the vets stay in training, because that's what it takes. Every single day, our raisers are out there working with the dog, getting the dog used to all the things that a dog is gonna have to be used to.
Thank you.
And Bear is definitely on his way. I just wanted you to see kind of the progression.
Absolutely. And that one is
because
11 months.
These guys are the end. This is the goal.
But when Clay jumped in, oh, there's something on the ground, I can get it.
Yeah.
We say, yes, thank you.
You guys do a little bit of just let them see what they do. We'll let them do some demos. Just show him some of the stuff they pick up. And I'll let him pick up my shoe. This stuff. Go get my shoe. This is great at TSA, because you gotta take your shoes off. And I can never get them, so bring it here.
Have they made you take the vest off at TSA? They did that with Shannon's.
No, they will ask sometimes, and I say, I'm sorry, but right now I can't do that. He needs to go in with his vest, cause maybe I've got too much to do. I'm in a wheelchair. I have to stay in the wheelchair. We get separated sometimes and we're far apart. Him and his vest working helps him focus, cause he's,
Remember that he's working, yeah.
yeah, so he keeps it to make sure that he has
Levi,
it,
bring it.
you know.
So you
He's-
can say no if they ask you to do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and they can't make you do it, you just say, just go ahead and check him.
Oh.
And you, I just say, you're welcome to check him, and they'll pat him down,
So cool.
so,
Get my phone.
all of it. Hey, please go for my shoe, Disco, give my shoe.
No.
I forgot to pick it up.
And you'll notice she's got lots of distractions going on around
No,
her.
get my shoe.
Normally they're
And
home,
it's okay,
it's
we'll
just the
take
two
the
of
time to
them.
do it.
Yeah.
Disco, thank you. Get my shoe. Bring it here,
That's so
bring
cool.
it here.
Now get that.
Thank you.
You guys didn't see this, but that dog took off her socks.
Yeah, she took off her sock, they will do that.
Yeah, the dog is a big deal.
And this is like a
My
recital.
toe, Dingo.
If you've ever been to a child's dance recital, they've practiced, they can do it, and they get in front of people and it's,
Working with live animals.
Do this side, I can't
Do
do
you
that.
all have a universal word that you use, like get it or retrieve, or what is the word that?
Yeah, we had, so with the retrieve command, it's actually a chain command. It's look, that's it, get it, or bring it here. You know, or get it, bring it here, and then hold sometimes if they start to bobble it, and then when our hands are on it, give. And that's the transaction has cleared. Disco, you're a good boy. So that lets me know he got it, he accepted payment, that was what he wanted. Sometimes his praise is just me loving on him. That's one of his favorites. And sometimes it's, I might hand him a treat. And sometimes it's, just go boy, or it might be a smile. If I'm in the middle of working a show, I drop mallets. He will go down, he has gone 3 rows over, down a thing, picked up my mallets and brought them back to me, and I haven't had to say a word. He saw them go. I'm in the middle of a concert playing, and I'm playing with one as fast as I can. That was annoying. He did get it. Avery is one of our dogs. She's the youngest dog ever to graduate. She was the youngest, so she graduated very fast. Yeah,
and
she
they
was
are an
baby.
owner-trainer team. Sophia has done amazing work. This is,
Yeah, she's done a lot of, and if you notice, she's really paying attention to where the wheelchair is. Yes, they have a soft mouth. We work very hard on what they're holding, because sometimes it's very delicate.
like toes.
Yes, like toes.
She has
Yeah.
given me a blood blister before by accidentally biting my toes.
Her mouth opened like this much to get your
She's much more careful now. She felt
Yes.
very guilty.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just speak a quick word for the youngsters in the crowd. Bear, Clay, Clay, I was right, and Bindi are just watching.
Yes.
A service dog learning to do nothing is an important life skill, because a lot of their time is spent waiting for their person to finish talking to somebody or finish looking at the clothes rack.
Bring it here. Bring it here.
When you approach someone with a service dog, you think, well, your dog's not doing anything, they're sleeping. They are paying attention to their person. You don't know what that dog is gonna alert to. You don't know that that dog is ready to go when it's time.
Hello.
So Sophia has taught Avery a recent cue to throw something in the basket, like in the trash. Love it. Love it. It's just a new one, but I watched it yesterday. She's amazing. They're both amazing.
I'll do socks over there.
Can she
Oh, yeah, I
find
do.
things for you, Sophia? If you
Sorry?
tell her to find something?
She knows find my phone, and she can also find my wife if we're out in public and we're separated. She'll lead me to my wife.
And did you do scent work in order to do that? How did you train with the phone?
We started just with the phone right in front of her, and she kind of picked it up. So she'll,
You spread it slowly.
yeah, very.
Ariel, does Levi still get your bag from, your medicine bag?
Yes.
That's a thing too. She has medicines that stay on a counter she's taught her dog to go get that bag and bring it to her.
Thank-
So that's where Laura was talking earlier about the training not stopping. So we do the initial 2 years. The dogs know 40 to 60 commands. They know how to behave out in public. They know all the things they need to know. But when the person actually gets placed with their person and you want specific things, that's when we can guide you how to do that, how to train for the getting the refrigerator, going to the refrigerator, getting the phone, those types of things. We
They
teach,
build on the
yes.
former commands that we
Yep.
already trained.
Yep.
I found like when we have our service dogs that they love to learn.
Yes.
When you get them to a certain point,
Yes.
they love new skills.
Yep.
They really
Yep.
do.
They do.
That is true.
And it's easier for them. Yes, I see.
Yes. And that's why the training really doesn't stop.
Yes.
How do they help with the eloping?
So they're attached to the child. Like we usually have a harness that the child wears that hooks to the back. They've got a D-ring on their vest. And that hooks there. And so as the child starts to run you, because you're a facilitated team, your child can't be by themselves. You say stop. The dog drops to the ground. They will not move. But a smaller child can absolutely be hooked. And then there is a touch and voice command that releases them, that it goes in a certain order so that no other person can release your dog to let your child go anywhere. A lot of times if the child starts to move farther than the parent wants, they will start to slow up and look at the mom and dad like, hey, we're getting a little far away now, you know, and sometimes you can just call. We suggest that there's two leashes, or you have a tether that's hooked to your child, and then you have this. You don't use your dog as the only form of protection. It's just an added layer, because, you know, they can go like that. They're so fast, they're impulsive. This just helps with that impulsivity, but you're definitely that final, hey, we're not going there. Yes, okay,
I see the harness on the one dog right there,
Right.
but obviously not for balance, because it's not strong enough, right? Is there
It is
that,
for balance.
that is, yeah, so when you use for balance, you're actually pulling up, you're not pushing down. So it's safer for the dog, you don't do any damage, because the dog, this goes stand, when they are balancing turn, and you may be able to tell, but when I hang on to this, if I pull this way, he is leaning away from me.
Okay, so you
He's pulling that way.
outside.
And so that helps for transfers and all of that. That allows us to kind of get up. If you're walking, that same thing, you're gonna pull up and not pull down, and that adjusts as you're moving. It helps for forward momentum, things like that. I like using the non-rigid. They're easier for the dog, they're more comfortable.
Is there a name for that one as opposed to that? Is there a different name?
It's, that one's a yup collar, I think, yup harness. It just depends on where they're from. Bold Lead makes some great ones, and they can be rigid or hard. For me, I just prefer the softer because they are easier to get under tables, things like that. And so it just helps her when she walks, and it helps with that balance, and she's right there to protect. They're hypoallergenic to the point of if you're allergic to dander. If you're allergic to the saliva, they are not going to help you.
Yeah.
Because that's just a different thing, and some people are allergic to the saliva, not the dander.
And speaking of allergy, you can't bring that dog in here, I'm allergic. Well, if I can bring my wheelchair, I can bring my dog.
And if they're that allergic, they can't be around 90% of the people because you're wearing it on. If you have a pet at home, you're wearing their fur on your clothes. So
If they are allergic, they would have to literally rub their face or hands on the dog to have an allergic reaction from being in the same space as a dog.
And if you're in a restaurant, it's management's responsibility to find a way to accommodate the allergic person as well, so they'll just move them away from you.
Exactly.
you had a question.
Yeah, I was gonna ask and see, because, the ADA hall sometimes would not allow you for access.
Okay, let me rephrase it. We went to go to lunch today for the first time in 6 years, and we take our dog out every day. They said, we'll seat you outside. I said,
No.
I don't wanna sit outside. And she said, you have to sit outside.
No, you do not.
I probably didn't respond as well as I should have, getting inside. But what's the tactful way to?
So I say, this is a service dog. and it's just like my wheelchair, and the ADA allows me to have him anywhere that he goes. I can provide you with the law, but I'm allowed to sit inside.
I've seen people have business cards with
We
like.
do,
it's
and
ADA
like on
rules.
our IDs, it actually on the back has the ADA law as that. There's two questions that can be asked of you with a service dog. Number one, is that a service dog? Yes. This is the one that trips people up who just bring their dogs out for funsies. Number two, what tasks does that dog provide to mitigate your disability? They're not asking you what your disability is. You just have to give him some tasks. He picks up stuff for me. He interrupts behaviors. He grounds me. He provides deep pressure therapy. You can name off whatever you want that he does for you or she does for you. That's all you have to do. At no time do you have to tell them what's wrong with you. At no time do you have to provide a horse and pony show. That's not your job. They can only ask two things, and you have absolutely every right to be in there. By the same token, if your dog is misbehaving, they're barking, they're pooping on the floor, they're on things they shouldn't be on, the business has every right to ask you to leave. Because that dog is no longer behaving as a service dog. They're not allowed to growl, they're not allowed to lunge, they have to behave. And every one of us have had a dog that has just been having a day. And I have walked out and said, okay, he's not feeling it today, he's not behaving, we're gonna go. And we go home because he's had a hard day, whatever. And that's our job as a handler to recognize what our dog needs. You know, our dog's needs come first, no matter what. When we are outside in the hot sun, the dogs are the last to come out. The dogs are the first to go in. I turn the car on first thing. You know, then we load everything. Because number one, it's great because by the time I finally get in the car, it's cool. But it also helps protect him, protect his feet, all that, keeps him from overheating. He's wearing a fur coat. It's hot. I don't shave that fur coat because this is also his air conditioning system. So shaving it is gonna burn him and it's not gonna let it work efficiently. Then it's hotter for him actually. So those are just some things. You're always paying attention to your dog. Your dog's health comes first above everything.
And that's part of learning to be a team, is to find the spot. You're seated at a table. It's okay for you to ask for them to sweep up underneath it before you're seated, or reseat you. Those French fries, yes, your dog is trained to leave it.
But come on.
But there's a French fry.
Yeah.
They can sweep up, or you can ask to be moved. Be aware of, is there a space where my dog is gonna be out of the traffic pattern? They should tuck under the table, but some tables have center posts and legs that it doesn't work. So that's part of learning to work with the service dog, is looking at a space and saying, oh, we should be over here in this corner. There's another dog, here's my dog. This will set everybody up for success. Those folks that are oblivious, those folks that are presenting, I have a certificate, this is a service dog.
That's the first way to know it's a fake.
They bought it on the internet, because that's the only way to get a certificate. So you're a service dog.
There is no certification.
You graduate from our program, we will give you a diploma suitable for framing, but it is not a certificate that you have got from a government agency.
Your dog is proof, and their abilities.
Their behavior is proof of their status as an actual service dog. At this conference, there are dogs who are lunging and barking. It's a challenge, and you will see it out in the
Someone you
world.
don't practice with.
We're having it here as well. Service dog?
Don't know. But it's great practice for our dogs because they learn to work around it. That's just the real life of wolves. That's what you're gonna deal with no matter where you are. So you learn to work in it.
I think that that's a big part of having a service dog. A downside is that you're going to get so much attention from the public because the general public does not know how to handle a service dog. I've been a handler since I was 11 years old. I've been through middle school, high school, and college with a service dog, and it's definitely not for the weak. You have to know how to handle every scenario with the public and the way that's safest for your dog, and your mental health.
You become an advocate for your dog and yourself.
And know that having a dog attracts people to you, and if that makes you anxious and you're not,
That
that
might be a
doesn't help,
downside.
then a service dog may not be what you need.
You have a question?
Yeah, is there a certain level of food versus tactile versus verbal praise? Like, is there a specific rate, or is it kind of?
It depends on
Just
what you're
know.
doing, and you know your dog.
Yeah.
And so it just depends on your dog. You start to learn your dog.
The age of the dog,
yeah.
the level of distraction. A well-trained service dog, you bring it into certain environments and you just up the game. The level of difficulty has just gone up significantly.
Level 2.
Yeah,
And sometimes
you've
I
leveled
just
up.
give him a treat because I feel like giving him a treat. So yeah, she's charging. Yeah, they're on the charger. So, and these guys sleep about 18 hours a day. So people think, oh, your dog's doing nothing. They're doing the art of nothing. They have to recharge because at any minute we might be on the road doing something else.
Is that different versus like a non-working team? Like, do they sleep more because they work more?
Not necessarily. Dogs in general sleep 18 hours, whether they're a pet or a working dog. So they catch naps anywhere they can. We're not really doing anything right now. They're all snoozing. Well, except for Mr. Man, who can pretty much do anything. He did. But they will rest until it's time to go again. And then they're ready to go. Yes.
Is it ideal when you have a service dog for that to be the only dog in the house?
No, I've got 5 dogs at home. Yeah, they socialize well. And socialization doesn't necessarily mean that they're just hanging out with dogs and people. Socialization might just be they've been to a park and they've learned to do the art of nothing and leave everything alone while watching chaos go by. You know, they've got skateboards and dogs and runners and bikes, and they just watch it go by. That's socialization.
A well-socialized dog is neutral.
Yeah.
A neutral to other dogs,
Yeah.
neutral to people, neutral to children jumping up and down next to them. They go,
Okay, I've seen that before.
yeah,
I've seen it before.
okay, that's something different.
Last week, we went to Tampa, and in St. Petersburg, they have a trolley. None of our dogs had ever been on a trolley before. Never. And it had the lift, and 2 of our dogs were able to, or 3, I think 3 did it. He couldn't do it because my chair took up too much space, and he's good, but he's not that good. But they were able to stand next to the little lift. They'd never done it before, but they had enough confidence and trust that we weren't gonna put them in a situation where they'd get hurt. And so they just trusted us that we had it, and they did fine. Yes?
You may have said this, I got here a little late, but do they have like off time when they have their
Oh,
off time?
absolutely.
And then is there a certain like
Off
ratio
time
of
is
the day?
so important. So anytime we go home, the vest comes off, that's their time. Now, I do say that all good things come from the handler. So treats, food, all of that should come from the person that is the handler of that dog. Because you want that bond to stay strong, and you want them to come to you more than they go to everyone else. Because sometimes you can't be up. You've gotta take rest. You've gotta do that. You aren't the funnest person in the room every time. So you need them to be focused. You know, when the vest is on, they focus on their person. And I even tell my family members, don't touch him, don't play with him, don't, let him focus, respect that vest, and make sure that they understand we're working now.
And that's especially important in that first
Yes.
90 days.
Yeah.
And it's really hard, especially if the dog is for a child. It's very difficult that you're the caregiver, you're the one that's gonna be, with as many things that can come from the child need to come from the child. If that's them holding the dog's dish in their lap, while the dog gets their dinner or their breakfast, or on the foot plate of their wheelchair, the dog associates that child with the good things.
Even if it's the child saying eat or release or whatever, they can say give that dog that ability, that's worth it. They touch the bowl, whatever.
So we're drawing, it's about 3:48, we have about 12 minutes. So let's go back to the original topic, which we've been on, but let's address it again. Is a service dog the right answer? I think all of the things that have been said are definitely something that you need to consider. I also think it would be in your best interest if you are considering getting a service dog for a family member, for yourself, for a child, that you become involved with a service dog organization somehow, whether it's puppy raising, whether it's volunteering. You familiarize yourself with a service dog organization, whether it's us, whether it's Canine Companions, whether it's Florida Service Dogs, whether it's Genesis Assistance Dogs. Yes, do your research, but get involved, because the minute you get involved, you're going to begin to understand the process. I think it's more difficult to stand back and go, I think I want a service dog for whatever, and never come and see until you get the dog. And then you're like, oh my God, this is so much. If you're involved prior, somehow, whether it's just volunteering, whether you come to Family Cafe and stand at a service dog organization's booth and share their mission, whatever that looks like for you. But if you become involved, you're gonna understand what it takes, because it's not just, oh, we have a dog. Like Laura and Sue have been saying the whole time, it's a lot. And you have to understand that before you fill out that application. Or
And you're better prepared.
yes.
If you have participated, if you've been a puppy raiser, not that we're saying you should be a puppy raiser. Well, we
It was
really
great
need
for
puppy
me.
raisers.
It was great for me. I puppy raised for 3 years before I had my own dog.
Yeah.
And when we say a puppy, we're not talking a play-sized puppy necessarily.
Right.
All of the dogs, except Disco and Levi, are puppies. Anything under
Oh, he's a
2
puppy.
for us are puppies. Our dogs are with a puppy raiser somewhere between 4 and 6 months, usually. During that time, that dog goes with you places. You are their social, you're taking them to all the places, doing the things with them. We help you with training. We don't just say, here's a leash, go with God. That is not how we operate. We do in-person training, we do online training. We have one-to-ones where we come and work with you, coaching sessions. But you're learning the language. And if you're getting a dog from most organizations, the language is pretty similar. There will be tweaks between commands and cues, but learning the dog's language is so important.
Would you just speak on what being a puppy raiser means?
So I've been a puppy raiser now for 8 years. This is dog number 15, and it's an incredibly rewarding experience. I mean, in terms of meeting different people, working with different dogs, and then, just working through different challenges, learning everything there is to know about raising a service dog, and then seeing them matched up with their forever people is just incredibly rewarding. And it's been nothing but like a positive experience. They're very supportive. They're along, with you the whole journey. We want to make sure that it's always a good fit. We kind of focus on making sure that the dogs are always set up for success and that we're prepared, we're a step or two in front of them, making sure that we see things coming. And there are some days where it's not a good day for them, and knowing that we need to go home because it's just not going to be a successful outing. But I absolutely just love it. So I wish I could do it as my full-time gig, but I have a job.
But your job is helping because you're taking Bear with you.
Yes.
And you took August with you, and it's great because now August person is all set up for success because she worked so hard at doing all of those things.
Yep.
Highly recommend it. It's the best gig ever.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Being a puppy raiser first, I've raised, I am in the 70s somewhere. I'd have to do a head count. I'm not sure. But having all of those dogs, I've learned so much through it. But my disability has become an ability. Because they have to do it right, and I have to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, or I'm gonna get hurt. So I'm very careful about, are they pulling, are they this, are they that, and so they have to learn on the job. And they do so much better because I have to be so consistent because it means me getting hurt or not. And so that's where my disability becomes an ability, and they get used to my chair, and they get used to being careful with me, and so then when they get placed as a mobility dog with somebody else, they've already been doing it for a while. This
Going to a graduation
is cool.
and seeing the dog that you had a part of raising, and as a puppy raiser, you get invited to the graduation of your
You're a part of
dog.
that, yeah.
And you play a role in that, and you get to see the person whose life you have helped change. And better gig is that. That do unto others was chosen intentionally. We know that having a service dog is expensive. Speaking of downsides of service dogs, there is gonna be a cost for food and vet care for a service dog. But for our organization, we do not charge for the training of your dog. There's like Nikki and Ariel and Sophia, who have worked with dogs that are not theirs, make it possible for you all to have dogs that are trained when you need them.
We want to thank you all for coming. We want you to remember that you have listened to Do Unto Others Assistance Dogs. We are based out of Lake Mary, but we cover all of Florida. And we will be back at our booth until this ends today, if you have any other questions or wondering about things. And thank you again for coming. We're so appreciative that you sat through our presentation.